to another episode of Video Editing Mentorship Class with Odena Manfred. This is the CapCut session. And today we'll be looking at scaling your videos in CapCut. Now, here is my CapCut interface already, CapCut mobile interface, and I'll be showing you how to scale your videos, to resize your video if you want to call it that. There are two things you can do with in CapCut or any video editing app when it comes to scaling rather, or if you want to say rescaling, and when it comes to resizing your videos. So you need to know that this area, we'll just watch during my cursor is moving, this whole area where the whole cursor is moving is your aspect ratio. Your aspect ratio means the visual representation of the visual space your video would occupy. Now, that space is usually black until you put a video on your timeline or a text or whatever. So if I should add text to my timeline, let's say I put text now, add text to my timeline, type whatever that I want to type. You see that because there's now text at this point, it's overlaying on the black. So this black area, all of this black area, all of this black area like this is my aspect ratio. It will determine how this video is going to come out at the end of the day. At this moment, my aspect ratio is set to 9:16, which is the same way you're seeing my phone screen. So Android phones are all 9:16 screens. When you rotate it, either you rotate it 90 degrees right or 90 degrees left, what it gives you is a 16:9 view. So if you rotate it right or left, it gives you 16:9, meaning that 16 degrees will now be the horizontal axis, while 9 will be 9 inches will now be, or 9 centimeter will then be the vertical axis. For you to change your aspect ratio in CapCut, let me delete the text first of all so that we get into what we really want to do for today. For you to change the aspect ratio in CapCut, you go back to your main menu. So you unselect from any of the media files. So you just click outside of the box into here and you come to aspect ratio. Of course, you can see if I click on original, it will give me the size of the first video, the aspect ratio based on the first video that I added to my timeline. But I can customize this to any other format. I can make it this 2:3:5. This is a different, we'll talk about that later. But you can see YouTube. YouTube makes use of 16:9, which is your phone's aspect ratio when you rotate it 90 degrees right or left. You also see 1:1, and it's showing you Instagram. So most Instagram videos is 1:1. So what it's scaling is the aspect ratio, not your video. And let me prove that to you. So if I come back here, click on my video, I can resize my video to fit in by just placing two fingers on the clip and pinching out or pinching in, pinching out, pinching in. I can resize my video inside the frame that I'm editing on. So I'm using a 1:1 aspect ratio frame, and my video, I am resizing it to fit into this frame. If I go back and change my aspect ratio, which is this black box, so if we change the black box again to 9:16, you see that if I want my video to fill it in, I would have to stretch the video like this for the video to fit into it. But one thing you notice is that some part of the video is cropped. So how do I ensure that my video would be able to fit into this whole frame, seeing that it's longer, and anytime I try to zoom in to scale the video so that it fills the frame, not all part of the video. Let's resize this now. So how do we do that? You click on the video and then you go to transform. then resize. Now on this resize part, this video had already been resized, so let us see how it. So let me do reset. This was the way the video was already before. It was a 16 by 9 video. So let's resize it to a 9 by 16 video. So you see, this is the way. It's still going to cut out some part of the video. So this is how I can resize my video, so that all through my editing work now, I don't have to be disturbed so much about whether the video is fitting or not. So the moment I just inch it across, you see that it's scalable better now and it fits the video this time around. Yes, there are parts of the video that would not show because I'm resizing. I'm resizing the video to fit this particular place, so not everything would fit in the same way. So click on resize again. You can see only the area showing in this box will be the area that will be visible when you resize. So if I want it to be 1:1, I can zoom out, see if it gets to the edges of the frame where I can no longer pinch out. And that is that. So I come here again and rescale. Well, if I really wanted to just use this particular size, let's say we wanted to do this so that we can have a text above it. So let's write late night. Put it up there. Then let's add another text to the my bed and put it below here. So let's say this was actually the intention to have these two texts side by side. We can always still come back here. If you see, I was taking a video of my laptop screen, but I don't want this excessive side on this side to show. I don't want all of that to show. I can still go back to resize, to transform, then resize, and move the video this way. That way I don't have to see all of that. So now we have a 9 by 16 frame with a video that is 1:1 inside of it. The reason we are doing that is so that we can have space at the top to write a text and this at this point. So we've cropped the video, we've resized the video, and we've changed our aspect ratio. So aspect ratio is your final black box which your video would fit into, while your video cropping or resizing it would not affect your aspect ratio. But if you change your aspect ratio to affect the kind of video that can fit into it, so let me show you that. So let's go back to our aspect ratio. If I change this aspect ratio to something smaller, let's say 3:4, 3:4, and then resize my video. Resize my video to, let's say, 9 by 16. Resize my video to 9 by 16. I would have to scale. So this thing I'm doing, I'm scaling the video actually. Now this is the scaling. So I scale it to fit the frame. But you notice the texts now are all over the place. So it won't fit in properly because this is 9 by 16. The video is 9 by 16. My frame is 3:4. Except I want to do it this way. So you're seeing there's going to be spaces now by the edges and at the top and at the bottom. I don't know if you're seeing that. So there's spaces here and here. There's space at the top, that bottom and at the top as well. So those black spaces are now there. So you need to ensure that if you're not looking for a special effect, that your aspect ratio, which would change back now to original 16 by 9, and your cropping or your transformation or the resizing of the image, let's reset it, is the same. Now because I had scaled this video before, that's why it's looking like this. I can decide to zoom out and rescale it to just fit the way it was before originally. And tada, here we have the video like the as though we never touched anything. So that's it for aspect ratios and scaling. You just need to know that what you're scaling is zooming in. Once you're scaling, you're zooming in and out, making it bigger or smaller, making the video, the picture, the text bigger or smaller. If you're changing your aspect ratio, you're changing the views area of the video. So when you export the video, it will be like this. And that's why sometimes when you want to post a video on, when you shoot some videos for Instagram and you then shoot for TikTok, by the time you bring TikTok video to Instagram, it crops the video. That's because they have different aspect ratios, different view areas. So I can make this smaller, I can scale it to become this smaller and still have my text to now fit a late night with Manfred and come down here. I can touch my text to become smaller a little bit. And now we have the money effect. Okay, so here we go. There you have it, there you have it. Late night with Manfred. That's it. So the next class we'll be talking about training and cutting and basic CapCut editing concepts. Thank you very much. My name is Manfred and see you in the next class.